Are you relocating to Denver? Or maybe you're just moving to a different part of Denver. Or maybe you're just moving, period, in the winter. No matter what the situation is, we are gonna go over some helpful advice and tips to help you move to the winter and those little misconceptions that you may have. So let's get moving. Hey guys, it is Linda Barr, your Denver North Realtor. Don't forget I am MRP certified, which means I am a military relocation professional and I'm also your boy mom. As always, I will have my information linked right here, or you can check the description box below. Whether you're looking to buy in Denver or actually out of the state of Colorado, I have an amazing network of agents placed all across the globe so I can connect you with a relocation professional. Let's get into these little winter myths right now and misconceptions on, November, December seems to actually be a little more busier than spring and summer. It may sound surprising, but in actuality for Colorado and what I've noticed living here and what I've come to realize is winter doesn't really actually start until January, February. Many people try to plan their schedule so they're like, oh, I want to get in before the holidays, I want to get in before Christmas, before everything hits. In actuality too, the weather isn't that horrendous usually in this time. They are like, oh, I want to get in before January or the February months when it starts really getting cold and we start seeing those winter storms. When you start looking at temperatures and the snow and then the holidays, you can see why people are really trying to tailor it to get in before the holidays, before the winter rush, getting into that home before maybe they want to celebrate their first Christmas this year before Christmas happens, right? And shoot, you're already unpacking, so you have all your Christmas stuff out and it's not buried. So it's kind of a win-win if you want to get in before the Christmas holiday. I know for me, when we first moved here, my expectations was for the holidays like, oh, we're gonna be snowed in for the month of December because that's amazing. I am really not like a huge snow person. So coming here was a little intimidating, not gonna lie, because I am used to the California sun and beach weather and hiking in the warmth. So coming here, I was thinking, okay, cool. Like the only time I want to see dump snow and be snowed in is the whole month of December because I love Christmas and that whole feeling of holiday and the season. So I am okay with that. So when we first moved here, we didn't get that in December. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. I'm supposed to be having a white Christmas and being freezing my ass off, right? No, it wasn't like that at all. It actually didn't even snow until weeks later after the new year when it was January. So it was a little weird because that's not what I envisioned when I came here. So definitely that's something to think about if you're needing to relocate now, if you're needing to move now and you're debating on should I come now, should I wait till the beginning of next year. So if the weather and the snow or any of the holiday season is a deterrent for you, definitely put that in your wheelhouse to think about. Another crazy thing of moving was, again, from my own experience when we moved out here, I was in the mindset that we were gonna be snowed in. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like we don't even have a truck yet. Like all I have is my car. I'm not gonna be able to drive anywhere. It's gonna be horrendous because of all the stories I've heard about getting more east and the weather as opposed to the California weather that I'm so used to. Now, granted, I came from a really small town in California that actually encompassed all 4 seasons. So when we moved here, it was really surprising to know that the town that I'm in really, really reminds me of my hometown because we get all the 4 seasons here. And the other thing about being snowed in was really cool because I would get a lot of snow where I'm from because I was in the mountains in California. And we'd have a blizzard, it'd be a crazy storm, and the next day the sun would come out and guess what? It would all be melted. You wouldn't even know that we had had a snowstorm. So it was really crazy to me that that would happen. And that actually coming here and seeing that happen here. So even though we have those temperatures, we have those snowstorms that come in, we are not snowed in for months at a time. We're not snowed in for weeks at a time. It literally, again, from what I've seen, it comes in, we'll have a crazy dump, it'll be super cold, you won't be able to drive or go anywhere, you won't want to, and then the next day the sun's coming out, and you're looking outside halfway through the day and you're like, where'd all the snow go? Because like my kids are like putting on their snow shit and I'm like, hey guys, guess what? There's no snow, sorry. So it's kind of crazy that has been happening is what I've been seeing, because that is not what I was thinking when we moved here. On top of that, Denver pretty much as a whole has a pretty good infrastructure as to getting those snow plows out, getting the salt out, getting the roads cleared, at least the major highways, so that you are able to drive around, you're able to move, you're able to go to work, whatever the situation is for those winter months. So seeing that has been great. Yes, on the side roads, like in your own communities, whether if you have an HOA that pays for snow removal, if you don't, whatever that situation may be will vary on what places or where you're choosing to go. But for the main highways, the freeways and things like that, it is always great to see that Denver is out there. They're putting their snow plows out, they're getting the salt out as quickly as possible for those commuters, because there are a lot of commuters. There's a lot of freeways that run around here, and a lot of people who are going from kind of long distances who don't want to live in the city life. They're living way north or they're living way south, and then they have to travel into Denver. So it's really nice to see that. So don't let that be a hindrance either, because those are all things that are positive for the winter move if you choose to move in the winter. If you are looking to buy in the winter and you're a little bit on the fence because you're thinking, oh, hey, you know what, if I just wait a few more months, there's gonna be a lot more inventory that will be coming in the spring. Well, even though that may be the case, you have to think of it as it's kind of like a double-edged sword. I'm gonna wait for rates to go down. I'm gonna wait for more inventory. You always have to think there is something that's gonna be balancing on the other side. So if you're waiting to purchase in the spring because of more inventory, okay, great, but understand at that time too, you're gonna have a lot more buyers coming out, so you're gonna have a lot more competition for those homes. Now in the winter, again, yeah, you're gonna have a little less inventory, but you're also gonna have less competition because less buyers will be out on the holiday months because they're not learning and they're not sitting here watching my channel learning all about the misconceptions of the weather and timing and everything else that we are gonna talk about on why winter is not a bad idea. You wanna get in before the holidays, and things to avoid, things to understand, and things to calculate to make an informed decision to know if the winter month move is good for you. In turn, as a seller in the winter, if you're on the fence about selling your home because you're like, oh, you know what, there's gonna be less buyers out, so I'm gonna wait to list my home in the spring so I can gain all that extra competition, right, for that. Well, you're not only going to be gaining buyer competition, but you're also going to be gaining seller competition because again, you're going to have more sellers going, hey, I'm going to wait and I'm going to list in the spring. So yes, you will have a bigger pool of buyers, but you're also going to have a bigger pool of sellers. So again, it's just mapping it out, figuring out, putting into detail what is your time frame and what is best going to work for you, because in any market, in any situation, and any season, you are gonna have pros and cons to buying or selling. Guys, just as the seasons change, so does the market, and we've all seen it. If you've been on my channel, you know it. Make sure you are checking all sources. You're watching my YouTube channel, you're following me on social media because I post data, I post statistics, I post a bunch of stuff you guys know to keep you current and on top of the real estate market, especially if you're looking to buy or sell, or maybe you're looking to invest. I know I've kind of said this because it has been a current trend, but all the negativity right now that's surrounding the real estate market is kind of a lack of due diligence and understanding. So this is why I push so hard to put this content here on my channel and on my social media platforms so that you guys are super informed, you guys are understanding, and you guys are doing your own due diligence, because everyone's situation is different. Not everything is gonna line up either, and not every property is the same. So understanding what is gonna best suit and fit into your box, your situation, is going to make it work for you. At the end of the day, you have to live somewhere, and there is always going to be buyers and sellers in real estate throughout the entire year. No matter what market we're in, real estate is always being bought and real estate is always being sold. Speaking of the market update, now that we're talking about moving in the winter, what is the winter market doing? Well, guess what, you guys? I just did a whole market update for that. So I will have it posted right here, somewhere on here for you guys to go check it out. So if you haven't watched it, go check it out and you can add it to your list of information, whether you're looking to buy or sell in the winter month. And just remember to keeping this current, making sure that you guys are getting this information because we know that the market is continuously changing. Where we were 6 months ago, where buyers were literally giving sellers everything under the sun to get into the home that they needed. They were fighting and competing with other buyers, so it was just kind of like this craziness, and sellers were just sitting back going, okay, cool, whoever brings me the highest and best, we're good to go, right? Now, the current situation is we're not seeing that much. We're seeing more of a balanced market. We're not quite there yet, but we are pushing towards that, which is great because now it's becoming more even, which is why they're saying it's turning into a balanced market, because before sellers were just sitting up here and buyers were just fighting down here, right? Now we've come up because inventory has come up. Buyers are coming in, actually seeing sellers are sitting at more of like a 33 for days on market for the average, which is crazy because 6 months ago they were sitting at 4. If you guys have been watching my channel, you already knew that. In turn, we are now seeing those incentives. We are seeing sellers come in and say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give a little bit because I'm still sitting on a plethora of equity, or I'm still sitting in a great place that's gonna help me not only sell, but turn around and still be a strong buyer. Because we saw such an increase with price that sellers are still okay, but it's really nice because buyers are not having to just give up everything to get into what they need. They're actually having some power to negotiate. So this has been great to see because it's a win-win. And if you missed my last video, I actually posted all about some Richmond American homes right up here, Denver North, that are available, and the incentives that even builders are giving is awesome. And they have inventory right now for you. So if you guys missed it, I will have it linked somewhere up here. You guys can go check it out, see if it's something that you need to do, and don't forget to hit me up if you need a private tour. This next item is a really good one to talk about because it has some misconceptions running around it, but it's moving costs. For winter months, moving costs typically are going to be a little bit cheaper. During a moving company's peak season, they are actually really busy. So in turn, they're not looking to give incentives. They really don't have to do a lot. They're already getting booked out with things just the way they are. So they are happy, they are rolling. Things are probably going to be booked. You're not going to have flexibility on dates and times, especially if you're on a time crunch, depending on if you're selling and need to get out, maybe you're leasing and you're moving into a home that you're buying, whatever your closing dates are. Sometimes they don't always align. So the winter time is actually a little bit better. Now we're seeing a little bit of pullback to where the companies are not as booked. They may have actually a lot of flexibility with your schedule, and they're actually throwing out incentives. During their peak time, they start kind of hiking up their prices because they are becoming so booked or even overbooked. But in the winter time, we're seeing a little bit of decrease. They're giving the incentives, they're giving discounts. It's holiday, Black Friday, whatever you want to call it, but they're doing that because that's their way of kind of pulling and hopefully getting more business. On top of that, with availability, again, is going to be more fluctuating with your schedule and what you need. There's a lot of different options too. You have your moving trucks, you have your trailers, you have your pods if you need to store. And that's another thing, is people are getting into those storage pods because those you can actually throw all your stuff in it, go store it, and they will deliver it when you need it. So it's actually not, it's just kind of becomes a monthly thing, but it's a movable storage. So I see a lot of my clients are utilizing those options too. Whatever the situation may be, maybe they're just not quite ready, or they only need a few things, or whatever their situation is, and then moving in with the company, like maybe they didn't have availability, or maybe they are overbooked. Whatever it is, the pods seem to be a really good option. Don't forget you have your do-it-yourself, or you can hire movers. Whatever it is, just understanding that you have options. The winter is not it's winter, like nobody's working, there's no availability, it's snowing. All these negative things that come, it's actually, no, you always have options. So sit down, write it out, figure it out, and you will get moved in time. And that is it for today's video, guys. I hope it was really helpful and maybe help get you in the mindset of, hey, I can do this. I can move before the holiday. I can move before winter sets in. We got this. And don't forget, if you guys need professionals, if you want to start getting the ball rolling, I have a 30-day list to sell. If you guys are looking to sell, right here in the description box below for you guys to download. It's a downloadable free PDF. It all kind of just talks about the process and steps to do. And even though talking about listing your home, there's a lot of stuff that's in this PDF that also will help you even if you're moving out of a rental, because there's sometimes there's things you got to do when you move out of a rental or you move out of an apartment. So definitely check it out. If you guys need moving companies, like I said, maybe you're just starting to get the ball rolling, or maybe you're like, I just like to be really prepared. I'm gonna start early. The pod is definitely a great option. Getting the movers, you can have movers that you can hire to come in if you just have like everything, you did everything yourself, you boxed everything, got it, but there's really big pieces and you're like, some of these I don't even want to mess with. You can actually hire movers just to do that part for you. So you guys have plenty of options to fit your situation. If you guys need those professionals or you don't know where to start, let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to send you a list of moving professionals. And as always, my information is here if you guys are looking to relocate, whether you're coming to Denver or maybe you're moving somewhere else. Don't forget to message me so I can hook you up with an amazing agent who can help you relocate on your time. And as always, you guys, if I don't see you around Denver, I'll definitely see you on my next video. Bye.